looked at and measured, and I know that people have different opinions about that. But when I think about someone who's just maybe intentionally tethered to an untruth, and they're just leaning into it further and further and further, to me, you know, I think the religious person would say something to the effect of, that, you know, in some ways is the sin, you know, that is the true sin, right? And then the person who's, you know, not coming from a religious perspective might just say, well, that's what's so toxic, or that's what's so vile, because they know the truth and yet they keep leaning into it. At the same time, I think this rhetoric around Trump being more of a bullshitter sounds like it's coming from a perspective of someone who maybe is a little bit of a bullshitter, but also someone who speaks from ignorance but claims full knowledge. Because it sounds like, I would need to read the book, obviously, but I mean, when I'm hearing it, sounds like someone's trying to make a very strong case for this. And if they're trying to make a very strong 100-plus page case for this, it just seems like a very binary way of looking at things.
I'll give you an example of two instances where somebody does not know, right?
Really quick, Andrew, can we answer your question before we veer off? Did that answer?
Well, to some extent. But I think what I'm trying to establish here, both are dangerous, I would think, in a person, especially when that person happens to control the nuclear football. And I think whether that person is lying and knows they're lying, has the facts in front of them, and still puts out a lie, that's one thing. But if they actually believe the lie or believe the bullshit, and they then proceed based on that notion that in themselves that this is the truth, I think that can pose a danger in the personage of the President of the United States, not just particularly this one, but any President of the United States who has at their disposal a unique weapon and the ability to deploy it that no other person on the planet has. And that's my concern when we're talking about truth or lying and bullshitting.
And hello. Since no one new is on stage, I want you guys to continue with this conversation in 45 seconds. Check it out.
So where did this Tony the Lip moniker come from? It's not Tony the Lip. It's Tony Lip. One word. I got it when I was a kid because my friend said I was the best bullshit artist in the Bronx. Why are you smiling? What do you mean? It doesn't bother you that your friends, the people closest to you, consider you a liar? Who said liar? I said bullshit artist. And what's the difference? Because I don't lie. Ever. I'm just good at talking people into, doing things they don't want to do. Like bullshitting. And you're proud of that. What got me this job?
Continue.
So let me give you a clear example of bullshitting, and then I'll say something about Trump's recent statement. Barack Obama, when asked about Obamacare, well, when he says, well, if you like your doctor, you'll be able to keep them, he was bullshitting. Obama had certainly not read the whole bill, right? And so he just thought, that seems logical. It seems like you should be able to keep your doctor if you like your doctor. He was completely bullshitting. What he was saying, it wasn't trying to cover up the truth. It wasn't trying to tell the truth. It was bullshit. Like, it had no correspondence to reality. I think when Trump said, we completely obliterated the nuclear program, he was bullshitting. He was not lying, right? Because I don't think he actually knew, right? I mean, no, I'm not saying Trump doesn't lie as well. I think he does. But very often he bullshits. He just speaks in ways, his locutions don't correspond to reality sometimes, nor do they attempt to correspond to reality, either to elucidate it or illuminate it or cover it up. He's just simply sometimes full of bullshit.
So Dr. James, did you want to comment?
Yeah, but also I want to make sure, since Andrew asked the question, I just want to make sure there's enough space for Andrew to kind of get his question out and help guide us to the answer.
Trust me, the answer is absolutely there's enough space. Did you want to comment?
Yeah, sure. Yes, I would love to. Okay. So